Hey, MHRcraft Rob here, bringing you another video in basically growing a house, or turning a mushroom into a house. Either way, whichever you prefer at that point. I'm not going to be discussing the red mushroom model that I've already done in a previous video, and then further elaborated on in another video. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on the brown mushrooms. Yeah, the brown mushrooms, the ones that grow flat when you hit them with bone meal. There is a way you can turn them into houses, but it's a little bit more complicated than the 15 to 20 second red mushroom model. It will take about 8 to 9 minutes, give or take, and but you can do some very interesting things with them. So, I do have some music, as you can see in my hand, this record, to put on while we go about this. Before I begin, however, I would like to say I am in creative mode. Seems like only recently that using bone meal on mushrooms actually worked in creative mode. So you can obviously do it in survival, but just as a heads up, you'll need 4 brown mushrooms, about 80 sand, or gravel, and 20 regular pistons. I know that may sound like a lot, but the results will be interesting, I guarantee you. So let's put this in. Blah. Don't need that. And let's get started. So I have marked out a space here that I'm going to be using. As you can see, it's a lot bigger than that little model over there. We're not going to be using all of it. The stone is just the border. It's the dirt that we're really focusing on. I'm going to start by digging out the center. This is a 7 by 7 grid, just to let you know. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, just like with the red mushrooms. What that dirt block will do, if you don't already know, is it will... There. A little too quick. What that dirt block will do, if you don't already know, is it's going to limit the size that the mushroom can grow at, which is very important, because we want to grow in the smallest size out of 3. So small for a brown mushroom is 4 stalks, and then the flat top. You can't see the 4th because it's in the ground. It only will grow. Only the first block will grow touching other blocks. Every other block in this mushroom configuration has to have open space, for the most part. Actually, brown mushrooms are a little bit different in that this side right along here can actually be touching other things when they grow. But nothing can be underneath them, and nothing can be touching the top block. Red mushrooms, however, cannot be touching anything except on the bottom blocks. Just throw that out there. So now that this is grown, we're going to remove the stalk, and we're going to dig down 2 out of our 7 by 7 grid. Now don't worry, there won't be too much of me digging. I've actually pre-dug the next set. Oops, let's just replace that. I've actually pre-dug the next 2 sessions. Darn it. Again? Getting a little ahead of myself. So you won't have to watch me dig all of this every time. But just relax and listen to the nice music. I am. Alright. Now that we've dug down 2 from ground level, we're going to go back to our center. Dig down 1, place a brown mushroom, and hit that with some bone meal. This time, let's just get up here and see. The previous mushroom top is going to be our buffer zone so that it can't grow any higher. And of course, it won't grow if it's touching that either. Which is why we're going to need pistons later. Oops. Oh well, whatever. So, we remove the stalk once again, and we're going down another 2. Now this is what I've already dug. I've already dug this layer right here. So, speeding up my process. Man, this is some nice music. More redstone videos should have some music like this going on in the background. Although it is very hard to balance that since the audio is pretty much at a consistent level. Can't really do much about that. Alright, we place the mushroom in the hole once again. We hit it with bone meal, and we have our 3rd layer. Now we have to dig 1 more layer. Or we have to add 1 more mushroom layer, I should say. So, we're digging down 1 last time. And in total, this will be 6 blocks from the surface. Just in case you were wondering. So we have a 7 by 7 pit that will eventually end up being 6 blocks deep. A fair bit of work just for this house that we're going to have on the surface. Granted. However, it will look very interesting, and I guarantee you, you've never seen anything quite like it. At least not when I'm going to be done with it. Alright, fourth mushroom goes up. And we're going to actually leave the stalk this time, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. But for now, leave the stalk. So, we're going to start by adding a ring of dirt surrounding the mushroom down here. And we're going to take our regular pistons, and we're going to surround the dirt. So this is where the 20 regular pistons come in. Now, with that in place, we're going to put down our redstone on top of the dirt. And the reason the dirt is there is just so that this redstone can affect the pistons. If it was on the same level as them, then it wouldn't really work. So just so that we could start by... I'm going to remove some of this top block stuff in just a moment, but just so that we don't remove the wrong blocks, we're going to take our sand and put 2 of each on the pistons. There we go. It's getting rather dark, so in a second I'll take these torches and I'll light up the area. There we go. So this is what we're left with. Now from here, we might as well just power it once. I'm going to place down this dirt block where I'm going to put this redstone torch. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could put your redstone torch on this stock block to power this. But I kind of advise against it, because with mushrooms, since you can't place pretty much any of the blocks the way you'd want, or ever, yeah, since you can't place them yourself, even if you give them to yourself, it still doesn't look right. I'm not gonna touch the stock because I'm worried that if I mess up, well, then I have to start over. Sad but true. So I'm gonna remove this inner layer. And as you can see already, something a little different has happened. There we go. Be nice and careful. We've already pushed the pistons up, and it's the 4th layer, or from the top, is now touching the 3rd. So that means we're doing everything right. So we're going to place more sand in here. And we're going to power this once again. Then we're going to place a 4th layer of sand. And this will be the last layer of sand. So this is the about 80 sand. Of course, you could be using blocks that don't fall, but sand is just so easy to remove, and I can tell it apart from the dirt very easily, so that's why I'm using it. So, with this done, with 4 layers of sand in place, I'm pretty much ready to get out of here. So, since I'm in creative mode, I'm just going to fly out one of the holes. Let's see. Alright, excellent. And I'm just going to fill in the other corners so that we don't fall in there for now. You could obviously fill in that area, but I wouldn't just yet. So let's do that. And we're left with this very odd and interesting looking square mushroom shape. However, it's made out of brown mushroom, so that makes it all the more unique and interesting. So, make our door. Oops. Forgot about that little hole that's going to obviously be there. There we go. And we very carefully bore out the inside. Well, that was ominous. There. And now we can place down our furniture. You know, do whatever we want. We have a much nicer house. We can punch some of this out, make some windows. I don't know, it's... okay, there. There's some windows. Cool. There's one more thing we can do to this, though, that will make it extra fancy, I suppose, or extra interesting looking. And I guarantee you, you won't see another building like this in your server if you decide to build one like this. We're going to come up here, and from the dead center, so that's 3 on every side from the middle, we're going to punch out that block. Going to drop some sand. some dirt, and I'm going in my inventory for a red mushroom. But I'm not going to plant it just yet. I'm going to do what we did at the very start of this video and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Except the 7th, I'm sorry, needs to be dirt. So the 7th block is dirt, and there are 6 sand blocks. Remove that sand, plant down the red mushroom, and bam. Once again, we are encased in a red mushroom. We can punch these out, turn these into some windows, and then we punch out all this. Being very careful, of course. So now we're left with this very interesting tower construction on top of our previous house. Definitely an odd-looking thing. Definitely interesting. This thing we can do, we can either take out the stock that's already here and make it a very wide open area, or we can go get our stock from the basement, which is what I'm now calling this area underneath the house, features, and we can push it up here, which is why I left it there in the first place. So we're going to punch that out, and I don't think we can, oh yeah, we can. We can drop down. Quick shortcut down. So to get our stock up there, obviously we're going to be using more pistons. So if you don't want to, you could get one of those other pistons out from under there, or you can just get a 21st piston. And start pushing this up. I believe this will be done 4 or 5 times. It's basically until you can't see the white stock block anymore. So one more time. And let's get out of here. Yeah. There we go. And now we have a stock that goes up the entire house. Sweet. So now we can furnish this, put in some glass panels, iron bars, moss, I don't know, whatever you want. Door here. And we have a nice mushroom house. Pretty interesting. Pretty unique. So, that's just one thing you can do once you have all these mushrooms pushed up and you have a much larger house. So, everyone, thanks for watching, and have a good one.